in this episode, you did it! You did it! You won the Conan bundle! Stay tuned to the end of the show to find out if it was actually...
Jeez!
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Weekender time.
Yes. Hey, guys.
Thank you for joining us. We are Beasts of War. I'm Warren.
I'm Sam. I'm Justin.
And together, we're not the three amigos. I'm not going to do the whole thing again.
No, because last time I had such a problem because Lloyd kept hitting his mic.
Oh, going thump, thump, thump. Okay.
Yeah, I just about got rid of it, but it was a hell of a job to do it.
Well, it's Saturday morning. It's time to talk about all things gaming.
It's the weekend.
But before we do that, we have a proper journalist thing to do.
No, we have become proper journalists. Because of this.
This marks us out as proper journalists.
Last weekend, we made it. We made it to the big time. We actually announced somebody was dead who wasn't.
Yeah, we finally got an obituary wrong. We're professionals.
You know, it's only the professionals that do this kind of stuff.
Thanks, Jimmy.
So, Brum, mate, we are so sorry, dude. You're not dead. I know on Saturday morning last week you maybe woke up and thought you were dead, but you're not, dude. You are alive.
You are
if
risen.
he died in the meantime, sorry.
Well, if he died in the meantime, we have double up. Really.
Well, one thing to say, live long and prosper.
Yes. Sorry about that, Brum. You are alive and well, and you are amazing. Absolutely amazing. But apologies, yes, there was a snafu. We accidentally announced that somebody was dead.
Who wasn't dead?
Wasn't. So.
I'm not dead.
Okay. It was only a flesh wound.
Knock your bloody arms off.
So, I think we're going to kick off with a bit of show und tell.
I hear und tell.
Show und tell.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start.
Okay.
Okay.
What have you got for us?
Right. So the big Bolt Action Locked and Loaded show went out last night.
Yep, on Friday.
Okay. It's the new show from Beasts of War. It's a tale of three gamers. Where we're embarking on a bolt action journey.
Yep.
Two of us have embarked before me, but I will catch up.
We have blazed the trail. We have made sure it is safe for the master to follow.
Now, in that show, I was fully expecting to do a whole pulp kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. But I got ambushed. Okay. And they've insisted that I'm going to do historical.
Yep.
And I relented. No, I relented. So I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to do an historically accurate.
Almost.
Well, as much as I can at a historically accurate.
It's all right. We've got John at Bullwhip. He will be behind Warren all the way.
Oh, my.
I'm going to do a Russian army. I'm going Russian, baby.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That hammer and sickle, I'm going there. So, I'm reading the feedback. Now, bearing in mind, it's only last night I've started to see the feedback. I asked you guys for advice on what army I should base my Russians on. Because, you know, Dave Shoulder, brilliant friend of mine, coming over soon to film the next series of Flames of War for the Win, has done some beautiful armies. He's done the Finns, and he's done the Irish Guards.
Yep.
And, you know, and he picks particular, not units, but particular
regiments
and things like that. Good word, Justin. Thank you for that.
It's a proper term.
So, I don't know much about the Russians, but I intend to actually try and build a level of expertise.
Okay.
You're grinning at me, man. You're grinning at me.
I'm just sitting there going, it's never going to happen.
I intend to do this.
No, I happen to know because he bought a bunch of toy dinosaurs earlier.
Well, you Yeah, it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex army, man. Anyway, I intend to actually try and build a level of expertise.
Yeah.
It's been a long journey for about 2 odd years now into historicals, and I've got to say, I'm loving every minute of it.
I know.
I really am.
I'm the same, because at the start it was fine. Wait a minute, this is actually fun.
It's more than fun. It's so interesting. Do you want to know what's happened? Something major has happened. I was on my Chromecast at home watching documentaries about the Russians during World War II.
Are you about to start talking about Katyushas?
I love Katyushas.
I have no idea what's going on.
Right, a Katyusha, right, is a truck.
Okay.
But on the back, it's loaded with rockets.
Yeah,
okay.
with big skids underneath them.
And these rockets all fire off the back of this truck, right? And they come down like a hill. They're not very accurate.
Yeah.
But they're shock and awe.
Yeah.
They are proper shock and awe.
I'll give you a quote, Warren. Quantity has a quality all its own.
Yes, I know this quote. But the beauty of them is not that the truck fires X number of rockets. Maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 rockets, whatever. It's the fact that they have hundreds of trucks. They're all firing rockets. Now, what I didn't realize, and I don't want to give too much away because obviously we have a show to do all this stuff, but I'm really enjoying the documentaries. I'm in this strange place now where I'm kind of getting to know me. Right? Now, let me try and put this into perspective or explain myself, right? I was watching this documentary about the Germans versus the Russians. So, Barbarossa, this was the German invasion of Russia.
Yeah.
And it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. And so much as I enjoy watching all the stuff about the unit compositions of the regiments or whatever they had, I think they were called, can't remember what they're called, but I'll get to that point of expertise. And as much as I enjoyed learning about the KV-1 tank, which was this tank that came on that absolutely terrified the Germans because nothing they threw at it could actually penetrate it. And this was the reason that they were going to the likes of Leningrad and cities like this, is because that's where these tanks were being manufactured. So, going to these cities was not just about capturing cities; it was about destroying or capturing,
breaking the infrastructure.
Yeah, but there is harrowing stories in all of this, and I've got to say, during watching these documentaries, I started to realize maybe why I've always been erring on the side of pulp in these games, in Flames of War and stuff like that. A game I truly adore. I have my Nachtwolf and stuff like that, and I think it's partly because I didn't really want to face up to
the darker side of war.
The darker side of it. This is a game to me. I'm just enjoying the game. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not annoying anybody. Yeah, you might not like the goofy stuff that I come up with, but it's just goofy stuff.
Yeah, I'd be of the same thing. Sometimes I feel profoundly uncomfortable with the idea of reenacting these battles as tabletop games. Even for my historical collection, I'm collecting the Home Guard.
Yeah,
you never saw any action, so yeah.
And I started to think to myself, well, holy moly, what am I feeling here? This is all a bit heavy, and I still have to reconcile it. I do still have to reconcile it. I haven't worked through it myself, but I intend to work through this as part of the big Bolt Action Locked and Loaded show, where I want to try and come to terms with it, because I have two trains of thought on this. We cannot forget.
No.
Because, call me a lefty, or an old, I'm a kind of a, somewhere between a conspiracy theorist and a pacifist, but I have a feeling this world is slipping into dire times, and I think that we've forgotten just how bad things can actually be. One of the horrific things that I learned, and this is going to sound just silly, you're going to go horrific, but imagine this. In Leningrad, they had Leningrad radio all throughout the city, okay? And whenever they weren't making announcements and stuff like that on the radio, they had a metronome going.
Just broadcasting on the radio.
And it would tick slow when everything was okay. But they'd speed it up whenever there was danger and stuff. So it would start to go.
Yeah, so there was a subconscious thing in their head saying...
And it became like the heartbeat of the city. And that the heartbeat of the city started to increase in pace whenever danger and stuff was near. So imagine that. I remember during our childhood here in Northern Ireland that you used to hear sirens going off whenever there was bomb scares and stuff like that. And most of the rest of Britain had probably never heard a siren in 40 years, yet we were still hearing sirens. And I used to find it haunting, the sound of the sirens going off. And they used to go off almost nightly. But imagine that metronome sound. Always there, always present, always reminding you that the enemy is at the gate. I find something like that to be... It's little details like that.
That just hit you.
Yeah. Now, in saying that, I would really like, and if I can put this out there as an update to last night's show, I would really like to base my Russians, on Russians that fought in or near a city, So if there's something that you guys could feed back to me on a Russian combat group, whoever they may be, that fought in or near a city, I am going, at some point during this Bolt Action show, going to have a city battle.
I see what you're planning.
Okay? And I may even bring my metronome.
Oh!
So just ticking away in the background?
Because it's, I think, as I'd said, if I've learned anything, one of the things is I want to face up to it because I don't think we should forget. I want to learn more about this. The Russians, everybody loves the sexy German tigers and stuff like that there, or they love the Americans because it's all bravado and stuff like that there. But the hardest, arguably, from what I've seen, and I'm no expert, but if I had to make a call, the hardest, bloodiest, most desperate fighting to me seems to have taken place on the Eastern Front between Germany and Russia. I think the numbers of casualties and stuff like that are extraordinary.
The other thing is the actual Russian equipment is incredibly hard wearing. I have seen it was a monument that was set up. I think it was in Poland. They had parked this World War II tank on this monument, left it for years. Some guys came along, put a bit of diesel and oil into it, and got it fired up after having been sat dead for maybe 30 or 40 years.
Simplicity, you see, because what they did was they changed tractor factories into...
Exactly. And if you can drive a tractor, you can drive a T-34, was the idea.
Right. I have lots and lots that I want to talk about in the new Bolt Action Locked and Loaded show. So stay tuned for that. However...
we've got a sneak peek.
I have a little treat for me, for you. I got this from Warlord. This is the sprue for the new Winter Russians. So let's get a look at these bad boys.
Oh, those are rather nice.
These are very nice. I love these kind of great coats.
The great coats look. So
yeah, the big padded coats.
I've said this in posts. Everything is cooler when you stick it in a great coat.
It is. It is. It absolutely is. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys on the sprue. Which is okay, but I think currently I'm looking at 11-man squads at the moment.
You are.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases. I don't know what's
It's
going on
because
there.
of some of the options that you have.
Right. Okay.
You know, so basically, with the way your options work out, trust me, this will work.
It will work. Well, one of the things I love, other than the great coats, is the head options. I think the head options are brilliant because we have all the big furry hats and stuff like that there. What are they called?
Unshanka.
Unshanka. So it's
And then even the guys in
really
helmets
nice
have scarves up around their faces.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which is a very nice
to try
little
and keep
detail.
Yeah, lots of good attention to detail with these.
I really, really want to be able to use these, and I'm wondering if I can use a mixture of these and the ones that I got out of the starter box to create my Soviet or my Russian, Soviets, because they were Soviet, my Soviet force.
Yep.
Because one of the other interesting things I've learned is that there wasn't one Soviet uniform per se. Because they were made in different factories, they were made from different materials and different colors of materials. Yep. So it was quite a mix and a bit of a hodgepodge.
So the Soviet uniform wasn't uniform.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't uniform, and I think that's going to make for a very interesting painting
make a
challenge.
Very visually
and
interesting army.
So there we have the new Soviet winter sprue, and
if I'm correct, from seeing this sprue, I'd say that will work identically with the standard weapon sprue that comes with your normal guys.
Yes, because you can see from the arms and stuff that the arms are sculpted to work with the standard weapon sprues. So
I like that one of them has a little Molotov cocktail.
Yes.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with the Molotov. It just adds a touch of flavor.
So
of course, it gives Warren the painting challenge of painting fire.
But the other good thing about it is look how packed that sprue is.
Yeah.
You know, it is absolutely loaded.
I'm seeing small entrenching tools and packs in there as well. Ammunition packs, water bottles.
Yeah, they must be shovels and stuff there. Yeah. So
well, you call it a shovel. It was called an entrenching tool.
An entrenching tool, then. Okay,
I call it a spade.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting these guys in. The other thing that I have here, with all my talk of Barbarossa, here we have the book. It's called Ostfront. Barbarossa to Berlin, and we're going to be looking at this in more detail in the new Bolt Action show. But it's it's what I come to expect from Warlord. Like, look at some of the artwork in this. It's.
I actually have had a quick peek at some of this.
Yeah.
What it's giving you is scenarios where it's saying, here's a side, here's a side, here's what sort of points values they would have had, here's what they would have had available to them. Build your list.
Yeah.
It's not giving you a hardline list to work from. It's giving you, here's what was there at the time, build from your options.
Yeah.
These books are made in conjunction with Osprey Publishing.
They are indeed, yeah.
So you'd be sure that there's plenty of historical information in there.
Well, what they have in here is they have and I apologies, again, I'm getting used to this, the Cackling Gaul, okay, the Winter War, Operation Barbarossa, Case Blue, Citadel, Migration to Berlin, and then there's some new scenario rules for snow and mud and ice.
Yes, you actually have terrain rules
in there, and this is absolutely key because Hitler made the same mistake as Napoleon.
Yep.
Napoleon couldn't invade Russia
in winter. How about no?
Yeah, and Hitler made the very, very same mistakes. It's all in here. There's night fighting rules in here, city fighting on page 108, which we will definitely be getting to, because if I can base my Soviet army off one that was in Stalingrad or something like that, I really want to do that. Look at that.
So, hang on, are we having to build a table and call it Warrengrad?
No. Historically accurate.
Okay,
the table will not be that historically accurate, but it's there we have it.
Maybe get that famous sniper who was part of the rest.
Vasily Zaitsev.
That's the one.
Is he the White Death? John was telling me about a guy who was called the White Death.
You've seen Enemy at the Gates with Jude Law? That's him.
Yes. Okay.
That's him.
Well, that's what I have. What have you got for your show and tell?
Privateer have been up to their old tricks again.
Right.
And created a few new bits and bobs for us, as well as having their new all-in-one army boxes now announced.
2 more out, aren't they?
2 more.
Which ones are they?
We've now got Cygnar, being led by Siege Marcus Brisbane.
Yeah.
So he's sort of a ranged melee caster. He's also pulling out a defender with him who's one of the best range jacks for the entire army. He's got Arcane Tempest Gun Mages, an absolute must for any Cygnar player. Brilliant box. I love it. The other one is the Trollbloods. You've got Gristle Bloodsong. You've got a couple of big Dire Trolls in there for heavy beasts. And, I think I have it written down there on the show notes who the unit with her is.
Dire Troll, Blitzer, and Mauler.
Yep.
Trollkin Warders.
Yes, Trollkin Warders.
Yeah.
Guys with big shields and axes, so great fun. But what Privateer have sent through is some new AoE templates. Now, there's one thing that always annoys me whenever you have a solid template and you try and get it in beneath the unit. They go everywhere.
Yes.
So now, you've got the rings.
Oh, let's see. Now, how many templates are there in the War Machine game?
So you've got a 5-inch, a 4-inch, and a 3-inch. Some of them are actual templates which will do damage,
Yeah.
but others are like this, which are AoEs. So that's your 3-inch AoE.
And did that whole pack, why do you need so many of them?
Well, say I have this is for hordes, but say I have a unit of trenchers,
Yeah.
and they all can throw smoke. Say I have 5 guys in the unit, 5 smoke templates, 3-inch AoE. You know, big,
And
big, big.
they would all go down on the table and
Exactly.
to where the area of effect is.
Exactly. And then you have the War Machine versions as well. So those are hordes.
So these are
nice.
obviously laser cut acrylic.
Yep.
Okay.
They've even got their deviation stuff on them
Screen
around the
printed.
outside.
So they have the screen print. What do you say the deviations? That's these numbers.
Yeah, the
here?
numbers on the outside.
Mhm.
So whenever you're actually firing, you place the one pointed away from you,
Yeah.
and if you miss, you will deviate.
Mhm.
You know, it's been a while since I've played War Machine, so I'm still trying to remember how the deviation works. But
Yeah.
it's
that's,
nice. It's a nice detail to have.
That's the 3-inch area of effect there. Yeah.
No, that's the 4-inch.
That's the 4-inch. So what's that then? That's a
That's
5-inch.
the 5-inch. So if you put that down, 5-inch, 4-inch,
Yeah.
and 3-inch are the 3 types of AoE you're going to have.
Yeah.
The one thing I really like, now this might look like just a wee piece of design, right?
Yes, I thought that was just a wee piece of design.
No, you can write on that with a little clear water-based marker.
Yes.
So you can say smoke, you can say whatever the effect is.
So a non-permanent pen.
Yeah, so you can quickly go at a glance and go, okay, that's what that is. I'm not having to ask my opponent every 5 minutes, what have you put down on me?
Yeah.
It's nice, simple, and clean. Absolutely beautiful work.
It's a nice set of templates for a War Machine player, I've got to say. For,
War Machine
for
or
a
Hordes.
Yeah.
You know, because both sides do it, so you've got the 2 different options.
Mm-hmm.
So I really, really like these. They're a simple, handy thing that every player's going to need.
Yeah.
You know, simple as that.
Beautiful stuff. Sambo, have you anything to show and tell us today?
Well, I do. We recently got something through, and you know how I love my modern day fantasy and pulp and weird stuff.
Yes.
Here, we're going to get our dose of weird in today, after all.
Or as currently, unless it's been changed by now, as it says on the redesign of the website, pulp, punk, horror, and wired.
Wired? Oh, don't tell me Lloyd misspelled it. If that was me, you would have my head.
Well, I'll tell you what we've got. We've got a letter for you, Warren.
Letters! Okay. I love me letters. So if you want to get on Beast of War, it's easy. Just send me a letter. I just love getting letters. Okay, so what we've got. Hi, Warren and team from Beast of War, but especially Warren because you're amazingness.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
With this letter, we, Liz and Fleur, would like to thank you very, very much for allowing us to send you a small taste of our game. This is something we've been working on for years, and a lot of love has went into it. The fact that we are finally bringing our story to the public and to you guys is just amazing. So thank you for taking the time to read this. Liz and Fleur, you're very, very welcome.
Yeah.
Let me see that. Oh, it's a role-playing game.
It is indeed. It's called Witch.
Right. So this is a prototype of it then?
Yeah, this is just a quick taster to get us used to what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
You take the role of the Fated, as far as I've gathered. I've only had a quick flick through so far. Who are people?
You are going to take this away and get to grips with it.
Yeah. It's heavy on the folklore, and I love folklore, so I'm going to delve into this.
Perfect.
You take on the role of one of the Fated, who are people who've essentially sold their souls to demons for power.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I can live with this.
But there are different types. You're essentially a witch, but there are different types, different factions as well.
Yeah.
Like you can be yokai, which are shape changes based on the Japanese monsters. There's liches as well, who are
They're little
information
fruits
gatherers.
that you eat in a Chinese restaurant.
No,
that's lychee.
Oh,
that's
lychee. All right, okay, yeah.
Now I want lychee.
Every day this man makes us all hungry.
Yeah. But it looks very interesting so far because, like I said, I love folklore and anything based on it.
Yeah. Well, if
What's this you're fiddling about here, Sam?
Well, in this, we also got a bunch of other stuff, including some story pieces and a sample piece of artwork, sample poster.
That's
I
nice.
like
Yeah,
that.
it's very
That's
nice.
very nice.
What's the creature? Let's see.
I don't know. I assume it's some kind of
It's-
demon.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like some kind of crocodile lizard hybrid, man.
Yeah, I know. I love this artwork, especially because it reminds me of one of the most iconic stories in the Hellblazer Constantine comics.
Yeah.
And no, I cannot go the Weekender without bringing up Constantine.
No, you
Fine.
couldn't. Well, we are going to spend some time getting to grips with this, Sam.
Yeah.
So maybe you can report back next week or the week after and let us know how you got on with it, and maybe you can take us through a game of it.
Definitely.
In the meantime, I just want to let you guys know, keep your eyes open for Witch, because Witch is potentially coming to Kickstarter this March. And if you want to learn more about this, head on over to angryhamsterpublishing.com or check out Angry Hamster Publishing over on Facebook.
I'm sorry, that's just an awesome company name.
Yeah.
Angry Hamster, yes.
Well played.
Yes.
Love it.
That should be the end of show and tell, but I've got one more thing I want to show off.
Oh dear.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
Can I get it?
Or is this... Oh, this is something else you have.
Oh, what are you going to get?
Oh,
What are you gonna-
I have a little something down here to surprise you
Have you
with.
got something to show? Well, let me show this off first, okay? Nachtjäger.
Night Hunter.
Now, this is the new book for Flames of War, okay?
Mhm.
It's about the battles in northern Germany, clearly, as it says there. What a beautiful, beautiful book.
Mhm.
It is full of armor. Absolutely full of armor. Like, you want to get a gist of it? Have a look
Whoa!
at this.
The hell?
That's a lot of tanks.
Isn't that cool? Right. Now, the reason I'm showing this off is because I'm holding this to go through this with Dave's shoulder. We're planning to get Dave over next month. The current season of Flames of War for the Win is now on a season break.
Yep.
Okay, we've done our first 8 episodes. Dave is coming over. Hi, Dave, to film the next season of that with me. I also want to say a big welcome to a new producer who's coming on board to help us produce Flames of War for the Win. He doesn't know this yet, but Bothy, well done, mate. So,
in the grand tradition of the military, you have been volunteered.
he did volunteer. You have been accepted. So Bothy will be coming on as well to help us plan out the next season of Flames of War for the Win. We're hoping to get some more battles and things like that played. But I've really enjoyed looking into the more detailed aspects of the Flames of War rules, even though we've been getting some of them wrong. But, like, you know, if you enjoy Flames of War for the Win, you enjoy it as much for what we get wrong as what we get right. You know?
Yeah, but halftime warrant, it's you getting overexcited going, oh my god, we can do this, and Dave going, yeah, sure, don't eat me.
Yeah. I know it's my fault. I do get excited. You know, Dave shows me something cool, and I immediately, in my head,
you come up
make
with
it
the most
100
epic
times
way to
cooler.
use it. Yeah.
You know? And I stretch the rules a little bit, but I always are on the side of awesome.
Yeah.
You know, so, but this is Night Hunter. It is a fabulous, fabulous looking book. So I'm going to be going through that either with Dave's shoulder, or if I go through it a bit quicker, I might go through it with John.
Well, be careful, because I'm sure John is sitting there at home going, they looked at it without me.
Yeah,
Revenge.
I may go through it with John if I want to do it before Dave's shoulder gets over, and we're going to pick out some of our favorite army lists and stuff out of that there, and talk about what we would do and stuff like that there. But this book was made for my Nachtwolfen.
Well, this is saying March, May 1945.
Yeah, this is late war.
This is German big cats right here.
Yes,
That's what I expect to see being picked out of this book.
This has got to be as close to the Battle of Berlin as you're likely to get, you know. But with them still in good shape. You know, this is not little boys fighting. This is still the men fighting. I would imagine. You can keep me right. Right. So that's Night Hunter. I just had to show it off because I just think it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I come to expect nothing else from Battlefront at the moment. All their stuff's great. So,
of course, right. I found a little surprise.
Right.
Chat. Guild Force 9 have done it again.
Ooh.
They've made a Homefront game.
Homeland.
Or Homeland, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's another TV convert. Now, I've had a read at this.
Yeah.
I've had a little bit of a test play through it. Fantastic. This is up there with Spartacus.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking, because from having read the rules, once we get them bedded down and get playing, that's how fun this is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched a little bit of Homeland, and I rather enjoyed it. But
well, last
do you
night,
think it captures the sentiment?
Yes. Well, last night I had never watched this before.
Yeah.
Right. But it came in, and I know what Guild Force 9 is like. They don't pick up anything that's not good.
Yeah.
So went home with us last night, stuck on season 1, burnt through the entire thing.
You watched the whole season 1?
Yeah. It was kind of me going, okay, read the rules, got the rules. Oh my God, it's amazing between the two. They've got it perfectly, because you have... All right, in the game, you have 3 types of player, right?
Yeah.
You have your loyal agent, so you're trying to protect America from all the terrorist threats.
Yes.
The political opportunist,
yeah,
who is basically going, well, I'll kind of let some bad stuff happen because that way I can become a senator when I retire. And then you have the terrorist mole.
Yeah.
You don't know who anybody is, and you're all playing the game sort of together, sort of against each other. So it's got a very sneaky sort of tactical, psychological warfare thing going on that I think you'll really enjoy. Of course, whenever you play psychological warfare against me, I always lose.
Well, do you know what? I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
Because this will be Game of the Weekend next weekend. So you're going to take us through a game of this.
Okay.
And we'll bring this up as Game of the Weekend next weekend to actually give you guys some real insight into how this plays.
Well, guys, I've been stymied. I wanted to show it to you this weekend, but Warren says no.
We're going to hold it off for a week.
You're gonna have the fans out there being rabid about this.
I want to play it first, you see.
You sneaky get.
So then I can actually talk about it as well.
Oh, so we can all be excited about
talk about how I utterly defeated you.
This is
it's on. It's on now.
This is the thing. You are the master of psychological warfare in games. I don't want to play a game against you that encourages that.
Oh no! This should be good. This should be good. We'll get it. We'll get a gaming night specifically together for that. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. After the break, we're going to be talking about some stuff you can be doing, and then the main topic of the show this morning, is corporate licensing and the gaming industry. We've had. We're going to give you a bit of an update on Alien versus Predator. We've been speaking to Prodos. I'll talk a little bit about Terminator and just generally about. We are now at these early stages of the big names really starting to come into our industry.
Yeah.
And we're all having to learn an awful lot in the process. So we'll maybe get Lloyd in for some of that. So we'll be right back after this. And welcome back. Okay, so...
What? Not even going to introduce me?
It's Lloyd! Brother Lloyd!
I just materialized.
Yes.
You have been on camera enough now. You don't need to introduce. People know you now.
Yeah.
You're beyond that bright-faced innocence of just going, I work at a PC, I don't have to be on camera and shiz.
And if you didn't know Lloyd, you've just had your last lucky day. Welcome to the world of now knowing Lloyd. Okay, so I want to talk just briefly about some events and stuff that's coming up on both sides of the pond. First things first, I may have mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again. The Dropzone Commander Tournament and Open Day is taking place on the 7th and 8th of February down in Croydon in London. I cannot recommend this event enough. If you like what those guys have done, whether you're playing the game or not, head down to that. The open day is free. You can just drop in and you'll get to see some new releases. You'll get to see some fantastic artwork. You'll get, no doubt, I'm sure that you'll get the possibility to maybe get a bit of a demonstration. They have a whole host of products. They do special offers.
It'd be interesting. Are they going to have that big ship?
They have a big, massive ship.
Have they finished it yet?
Probably not. It's massive.
I believe it's going to be finished for Salute,
right?
But it'll be there in whatever shape that it's currently in.
I remember Dave telling us that's actually one of the smaller vessels you would see in a Dropzone Commander fleet.
It's the smallest vessel
yes.
you would see in a Dropzone Commander suborbital fleet. And it carries something crazy like 100 or 200 drop ships. And it's all modeled to scale. All the drop ships and all are in it. It looks
Dave is an absolute lunatic. I love him.
Oh, he's just crazy nuts. So, I was at this last year. Once again, Justin, let's bring up the links to the coverage that we done of last year's where I entered the tournament. I had a fabulous time. I turned up and I couldn't remember how to play Dropzone Commander.
Yeah, I remember this.
And I ended up doing okay in the game. I even got a 20-0 in my favor, where I completely decimated another army. It was such a roller coaster. I also got tabled 20-0 as well.
And you got absorbed into Team Ruby.
And I got to join a team called Team Ruby.
Yeah, guys, click the link, see what you think.
Yeah, a bunch of guys who didn't take their love to town. So
why? I thought that joke was dead.
Oh well. Anyway, it was fabulous. Click the link and check it out. Also, if you're over stateside, you have the amazing TempleCon. Justin, give us the rundown on what people can expect.
Right. Well, February 5th through 8th again.
Yep.
We have on the miniature side of things to start, shall we? We have, let's see, Iron Gauntlet qualifiers for War Machine and Hordes.
Yep.
We have Dark Age Rumble in the Wasteland intro event. We have Wrath of Kings intro event. We have more War Machine and Hordes.
To this Wrath of Kings.
Yeah. Oh. Have I said something to intrigue the master?
It's very, very good. It's very good.
Cool.
Keep your eyes peeled for this game. This game, Wrath of Kings, is. I think it's going to be a bit of a sleeper hit. It's come out of Kickstarter. It's coming out of Kickstarter. It's a game definitely to watch. It really is.
Well, for all the painters out there, there's the Crystal Brush qualifier.
Yep.
Which is always great.
Biggest painting competition in the world.
Yep. You've got Star Wars X-Wing is turning up.
Fantastic.
Malifaux is turning up for an Enforcer Brawl, which
Excellent.
should be a good laugh.
Yep.
Warzone Resurrection, I think I already mentioned. Flames of War is going to be there. Here's one you're going to like. All Quiet on the Martian Front is going to be there for some demo games.
Oh, excellent.
So that, if you've been looking to get into it, that's the one for you. Oh, I'm seeing quite a few repeats. There is a lot of repeats of people just going, people are going to want to play this, so let's put as many of these events in as we can. That I like.
Wrath of Demons then?
Wrath of Kings.
Wrath of Kings?
Yes.
Who's it come from?
It's Cool Mini or Not.
Yeah.
It's not a board game. This is a proper tabletop war game.
Excellent.
Okay. It's a fantasy world. It's got pigmen.
This has completely flown under my radar. I haven't absorbed this at all.
Where do you see this? I've been watching this over this last couple of weeks.
Okay, cool.
It's got pigmen, okay, that look absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah, you were doing your little pig thing the other week.
No. That was War Machine and Hordes because you do get the pigmen in that.
It? Yeah.
It's got wolfmen, and it's got an army in here that you are absolutely going to love. It's like a dark samurai kind of army. We'll get the pictures up. Lloyd will be sold when he's loves it.
Well, we have our mate Brian Hassan's favorite game here as well. Is going to be Godslayer. Is
Godslayer there?
Yeah.
What a great game.
Yeah.
What a great game.
This is just chock full of it. Guys, if you're going to TempleCon or if you're thinking of going to TempleCon, it's templecon.com. You actually go and there's a full list. Of just
the other thing is Privateer Press are going to be live streaming some announcements and stuff like that. They've got a whole seminar type thing where they talk about what's coming up. We will be simulcasting that. So you can watch that live stream over on beastsofwar.com.
Awesome.
So if you come to beastsofwar.com during that weekend, we will be showing the live stream as well, so you can be sure not to miss that.
Cool.
Then finally, a little bit further out now, back to the UK again, we have the UK Games Expo. Fabulous event. And one of the highlights for that we want to draw your attention to is the Mutant Chronicles Warzone Resurrection International Tournament, with the first prize of £1,000 in cash.
That's nice.
That's a big
that's a good
prize, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, that's the 29th through 31st of May.
It is, yes. So I believe that's the one in Birmingham. It's getting better and better every year, and it's now definitely, since the demise of Games Day, high on the list. This and Salute are the big events
big ones over here
to attend in the UK. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check them out. Now, on the topic of Mutant Chronicles Warzone Resurrection, okay, it's made by a company called Prodos Games.
Yes.
Who've been causing a bit of a stir, a bit of a flap.
Okay.
You might say. Okay.
Right, okay.
I've been getting emails of people saying, "Can you contact Prodos and find out what the story is with Alien versus Predator?" Alien versus Predator, as you know, had a very successful Kickstarter.
Yep.
Okay. We saw some of the models at Salute last year. Okay. It was expected to ship in September past. Didn't. Delayed. But it's Kickstarter. Come to expect that. However, the Kickstarter page went down.
Oh.
With a message saying there's an IP dispute, an intellectual property dispute.
Right.
They then also started to remove pictures of Alien versus Predator from their Facebook and stuff like that as well.
Right.
And it seems to me that the communication on all of this hasn't been particularly
effective.
Effective is a good word. Okay. So it's very easy to jump to the conclusion that there's a huge battle has went on behind the scenes.
Right. So the conspiracy caps come out.
Yes, I think a lot of the tinfoil hats are needed on this one. I was asked by a number of people to see if we could chase up on this to try and see if we could get a report. Now, I can only tell you what they have told me. Okay. And that's going to lead me into this whole topic to close out the show of corporate licensing. Okay. Yep. So from what I can gather, okay, Fox, who they are dealing with, okay, have some very stringent rules in place. A number of these rules, I get the impression, or I can imagine, have been kind of coming in place as the project has went along. Because remember, this is probably one of the first big miniatures games rather than a board game that Fox has done. Okay? So, the impression I get, and I've seen this same thing with Alessio Capetori's new Terminator project, which I'll talk about in a minute, to discuss the similarities of the two things. But the impression I'm getting, and what they have said to me, is basically they can't actually show pictures of work in progress. Right. They can't show pictures of anything until it has been fully signed off. So, this has built in a delay because everything is now going through stringent sign-off processes. Some are easy, some are hard, but they all have to go through that process.
So it just takes time to work through the mill.
Yeah. So it's not a case of the license being pulled, because that was my fear. I've got to say, when the whole thing started to go down, at first I thought, oh, we'll give it benefit of the doubt. It'll probably come back up again. It didn't. Okay. Prodos, I think their hands are maybe a little bit tied in all of this, because I'm not sure what they can and cannot say publicly about it. But as far as I can, I've been told categorically, the license isn't lost. The game will be out. They're shooting for April to have it out before Salute. But that is contingent on each of the individual components, getting through that whole sign-off process.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it's because it's never been done before. Rules and stuff are going into place, which is then just hang fire, hang fire, hang fire, hang fire, hang fire, hang fire.
Yes, I think that this is a bit of a case of you have a small miniatures company, an upstart miniatures company that is capable of getting this game out relatively quickly. I think that they were never going to be able to get it out by September. I think that they were very overconfident in their abilities.
I think when you're working with a licensee partner like that,
yeah,
you should basically just add in. We need to add loads more time just for getting through.
Well, you see, the thing is, remember, they'd already worked with a licensee because Mutant Chronicles was owned by Paradox Entertainment. So they had already worked with a licensee that had
I've never but I wouldn't classify them in the same.
Yes, but I can see it from their perspective. They've worked with a licensee. It had all went very smoothly. It had moved on at a great pace. Surely this same thing is going to happen again. Yeah. However, they're in with a big, huge corporate now.
Yeah.
And that big, huge corporate has a whole series of rules in place. And as the project develops, they're putting even more rules in place because they've never done anything quite like this as well.
And didn't Fox own the rights to Firefly, or do they still own it?
Correct. Battlefront also work with Fox, okay? However, they're working on self-contained board games. Now, I'm not suggesting for a second that that's any easier, but it does
kind of
give
all
you...
arrives at once, boom.
It all arrives at once. It all is a confined
package
product.
Versus building an entire universe, which is sort of what I was trying to draw to there.
So, the bottom line on this is if you're waiting for your Alien versus Predator pledge, I'm told, don't panic. It's going well, but slowly, okay? And the aim is to have it all out by April, okay? Or to start the delivery by April. Now, on Wednesday night past, I did a live hangout with Alessio Cavatori to talk about his Terminator game. Now, it was a great hangout, and we had a fantastic viewership, and the guys were asking questions and all in the chat. However, a few minutes before the hangout, in talking with Alessio and whatnot, we realized that it could only be done live. So the recording couldn't be publicly streamed after the event was over.
So if it had to be...
Why is this?
This is down to... Now, remember, he's dealing with Paramount, okay?
No, they're Behemoth.
So this is down to the fact that Paramount... He had the go-ahead to show off the stuff during the kind of a live stream, but didn't have the go-ahead or was not in a position to have it publicly available after the live stream.
Yeah. Well, there you go. If you didn't watch the live stream, you missed out.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, and I apologize for not being able to let you guys that were dying to watch that in advance saying you must watch that. But you'll know for again, anytime I'm doing a live stream, you must watch it.
That explains, because I was looking at it after the live stream going, where's the recording at? Obviously that's what.
So the recording couldn't actually go up. Now what we might be able to do possibly is to see if we can get a copy of the actual recording and see if we can pixelate or remove the things that were shown during it.
So the actual miniatures, so you can still get the content of what was chatted about.
Yes.
I don't know. I like it. Be there or be square.
Well, yeah. Part of me kind of thinks taught you a lesson.
The point of doing it live is to do it live.
Yeah, but not everybody can make it. So we are looking into it. We're looking into what we can and cannot do with that. But it does hammer home. This last year, 2 years, we've started to really see the big corporates. Okay. The only corporate we've had to deal with in this industry up until the last 2 years was Games Workshop. And if we thought Games Workshop were heavy-handed, ho boy.
But when it comes to working with licenses and IP, even Games Workshop have only went after one.
Yes. But we've received communiques, you might say, from Warner Brothers, We've received stuff on behalf or about DC. We are also having to learn to deal with these guys, and we're very fortunate. Actually, we have a very good relationship with who we've spoken to in their head of legal in Warner Brothers. They're very nice guys, but the whole red tape that these companies are having to jump through now to get these big licenses, to get these big intellectual properties and pull them into our industry is incredible. And it's, I suppose, for many of them, they have to ask themselves, is it worth it? I saw some comments on for example, after the Terminator thing that we couldn't stream it, somebody was saying, well, if I can't see it, why should I support it? Well, I've been thinking about this, and your comment spurred me specifically to think about this. First and foremost, whether you ever buy into a game or not should be based on one primary thing.
Is it cool?
Yeah, do you like it? Okay? So that's as simple as it gets, really. If you like it, and you have the spare cash or resources and time to do it, go for it. Go and enjoy it. Have fun. If you're starting to think deeper about the thing, there is another reason. And it was one that I had been thinking about this last day or so. If we want these big intellectual properties to come into our industry, it'll only be smaller companies that'll be picking them up, because we don't have any big companies other than maybe 5, and the biggest of them is bigger than the 5 of them put together. And we know that Games Workshop are unlikely to be going off and getting intellectual properties. So the most likelihood is it's going to be small companies that are going to be investing their livelihood. Like, for example, Terminator is not going to Kickstarter.
No, that's
Alessio's self-funding that entirely. So it's you've got to admire the risk that these small companies are taking to try and bring these big pieces of intellectual property to bear. But
it can pay off. For example, if you look at Night Models,
yes,
their releases come out for the Batman game, and I always look at them because there's a sense of I recognize the characters, and I want to go in and look at them.
It's that easy.
There's other releases that'll come out, and I'll go, that looks cool, but I'm too busy, and I'll breeze on.
Yeah, it's the easy IP drop in. I know this story. I know who that is. Exactly. I already care about that person.
This stirs feelings in me. I'm gonna go and look at this and find out more.
Provided these companies tick all the other quality boxes, okay, I think it's maybe in the interest of us as the consumers to give these guys a bit of support, to try and help them make a success of the ventures that we like. So if it's a case of you like Terminator and you like what they're trying to do with Terminator, to turn around and say, well, just because of licensing issues and I can't see images, I'm not going to support this. Kind of seems a bit arse about face.
It's a bit stroppy.
Maybe the way to think about this is to think, well, actually, these guys are taking big risks to try and bring these intellectual properties into our hobby. Do we want them? If we do want them and they tick all the other boxes, maybe it's worth giving them that bit of extra support, giving them that bit of extra breathing space, benefit of the doubt, to try and ensure that they can make a success of this, because the more success is made of these IPs that come in, the more likely we are to see more of them and to see them flourish and grow.
The other thing would be, the more of these big names we get in, the more mainstream it becomes, and the more accessible to a wider and wider audience it becomes. And
the better companies will be at going through these processes.
True.
Which means that their whole approach to information release and stuff like that there will be slicker. But it's very, very strange to now find ourselves in a position where we're looking at and facing as much red tape working with the likes of Alessio or Prodos and some of these as we do when we look at Games Workshop. But it's understandable. Once the big corporates get in, they dictate the terms. And as Alessio very succinctly put it to me, it's ant versus boot.
It could be, though, in 5 years' time, we're looking at it and going, this is great, because some companies have got really good at dealing with IPs.
Yeah.
Because I sit here and looking around and thinking, there's loads of IPs that I still want to come to tabletop.
The one I'm really waiting to see is Marvel to actually start, seeing more and more on the tabletop.
Yeah, well, that'll be Night
Batman.
Models. That'll be Night Models that'll bring them.
That's what I'm saying. We have the Batman miniatures game, but I want to see Marvel minis on the table as well.
Yeah, well, I think if we give Night Models time, that will definitely be the direction
Here's
they'll
hoping,
go.
because I really want to be able to set down an Iron Man mini on the table and go, haha.
Yeah. Well, which version of Iron Man, eh?
Most likely version 42 from Iron Man 3.
He's one of my favorites as well. But
which one's he? Is that the one that flies down and straps onto you?
Yeah, that's the one that comes into multiple parts and just clings on.
But how do you guys feel about this whole corporate licensing thing now that's going on? It's we're all used to one big company basically laying down the law of you will not talk about our stuff until we say you can talk about it. And for the last 5-6 years, we've had all these little startups. Some of them are growing immensely, but we've had all these little startups. We've been very community focused. They've been talking about what they've been doing behind the scenes, showing off prototypes, showing off all this stuff. We've had access like never before.
It could be a real pain in the butt for the likes of ourselves. Oh, we've got something to show. Yeah, but we can't. Have you got something to show? No, but we can't.
It's going to be a pain in the butt for us. I know that much. But
yeah, but
how do you guys feel
come
about
that point where it's okay? Now it's ready for press release. Here you go.
Because I can almost sense some of you almost resenting the corporates now coming into our hobby, and feeling like maybe the hobby's a better place without them. And I'm not sure I don't disagree with that. I at this stage, I'm a bit ambivalent. I don't really know what to think on all of this. I'm excited to see the intellectual properties come into place. However, I'm not particularly enamored with the idea of a lot of our small businesses, a lot of our small companies in the industry getting dragged over a whole lot of hot coals, unnecessarily to bring these pieces of intellectual property into the industry. So
we've talked about it before. X-Wing.
Yeah.
X-Wing made it into Waterstones and other shops up the street.
Yeah.
That can only be a good thing for miniatures gaming.
Yeah. That's the plus side of it is, games like Alien versus Predator, Terminator, X-Wing, universally recognizable. These are the games that are most likely to break into toy stores. And if we can get games into toy stores,
you get new blood.
We can get new blood.
Yeah. The other thing is, because it's still early days with these companies still trying to figure out how to work together, maybe in say 2 years' time, it won't be as bad whenever this is coming through because they know what they're up to.
Perhaps. This could well be just growing pains. Do you know what? Have your say. Have your say. Post below. Anyway, guys, we are going to call it That Is Saturday Morning for you. Be sure to join us tomorrow morning over at beastsofwar.com for the extra long backstage version of the show. We're going to be talking about the Beasts of War Gaming Bootcamp. We've also got some other bits and pieces of hobby time and some stuff that we've been working on, and some plans for the backstage content. Some new content things that are going to be coming on stream for Backstagers very shortly. Backstage is the lifeblood of Beasts of War. Beasts of War wouldn't be possible without the support of our Backstagers. If you enjoy our free content, they are paying for it. So if you want to help keep Beasts of War not only alive, but to help us branch out and continue to grow and flourish in what we're trying to do on the project, please consider coming over and trying a free trial, a free 7-day trial of Backstage. And hopefully you'll like what you see. You'll enjoy the extra long versions of the shows and stuff that we have, and that you'll stick around and do your bit to try and make sure that this project can go from strength to strength, because it's all down to your support. Final thing, as I'd said at the start of the show, going to pick a winner. The winner of the Conan huge prize.
It's enormously big.
Well,
you got the lot, mate. And the winner was Bengal 6.
Someone's just fell off their chair.
Congratulations.
So that just
Contact us, claim your prize. Well done. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you folks for joining me. So hopefully we will see you tomorrow morning over at beastsofwar.com. If not, have a great week of gaming, and we'll see you next week.